shoulder pain. That was the question. They just sent shoulder pain with a question mark. So my question then becomes, do you want more shoulder pain? I can give you some if you want. Or are you talking about trying to get rid of shoulder pain? I'm going to assume it's about how to get rid of shoulder pain. So first thing we need to think about with shoulder pain, where is it coming from? Why do you have it? So in the pain research world, what you're going to hear often is that your brain is what creates pain. Okay, so this is a weird idea. People think, oh, something hurts, I must have a problem. You may have something that's a problem, but it never reached a threshold of consciousness. Your brain never brought your awareness to it. And so if your brain doesn't bring awareness to the situation, do you even know that you have one? So an easy analogy to think about is, how many of you have ever had a bruise on your leg or on your arm and you had no idea how it got there? That's pain being controlled by the brain. You have clear evidence of tissue damage, and yet you had no idea or acknowledgement that an injury happened. So from that standpoint, when it comes to pain, pain lives in the brain. So sensory information always gets up to the brain. If I have damage in my shoulder, my brain's going to be aware of it. Whether or not I become conscious of that injury or conscious of that discomfort is up to my brain. So first and foremost, brains are going to control that signal. Now let's assume that it's not my brain giving me a weird aberrant signal, because sometimes that happens. Sometimes your brain makes things hurt more than they actually should. Sometimes your brain brings awareness to something more than it probably needs. That's another conversation. Let's assume that's not the case and you actually have a shoulder thing. So then my question says, all right, let's go down the road. Start with the neck. Your neck is where the nerves that go into the shoulder come from. And if it's a deltoid issue, you're looking at your axillary nerve. If it's any sort of other nerve around there, it could be radial nerve, it could be musculocutaneous nerve, it could even be some of the suprascapular nerve. It could be any combination of things living in that brachial plexus, coming out of the neck, getting to that shoulder, and not doing their job appropriately. And that's giving your brain a sense of safety or the need for safety, and it's causing you pain, it's causing you a change in your movement quality. It could also be a matter of your lat, okay? Your lat, the big muscle in the back here, mine's exceptionally big and massive. I know, you can go ahead and I'll sign your book later. But your lat is going to impact shoulder movement. So if I have a lat problem, that might affect where my shoulder sits within the shoulder socket or what movements I'm allowed to do with that shoulder. Could also have a pec problem. So it may not actually be a rotator cuff thing. It may not be I need to do more of my rotations or more of my empty can exercises. I may actually have a pec problem. And so I want to check pec, I want to check lat, I want to check delt, I want to check all of the stuff around here to make sure that there's not something that's not working or that's overworking, and that might be part of the problem. And if I have something that's not working, I want to make it work more. If I have something that's overworking, I want to make it work less. And that becomes a different conversation. That becomes a little bit more of a therapeutic detail. To get there to that point, I'd have to see you in person, more or less, to try and really muscle test you and figure out what's firing, what's not firing. We could try exercises and then see your response to those exercises. And if you find something that's helpful, we stick with that. But there's a lot of ways we can go with that conversation. So unfortunately, I don't have enough information about your situation, but if you're looking at decreasing pain, that would be my option. If you want to have a conversation about increasing pain, come see me in person. We'll talk. I'm kidding.